I didn't know, and I said this to you on the phone the other day, that when I saw this duck calm on the pond during that podcast conversation that we had, that your little legs underneath were really doing a lot a few years ago.
Yes. I mean, I've been on a journey like anyone that wants to get good at something. And I made the decision I wanted to become a great sales trainer back in 2015. And in order to do that, I decided to quit. I decided to dispense with income because I realized that the only way to motivate myself to actually do anything was starvation. Because if you've got money coming in, then you're kind of half in, half out. So I said to my wife, I said, look, this is the deal. For me to make this work, I have to go all in 100%. Okay, so we got two options. One is it works and one is it fails. I said, if it fails, worst case scenario, I go, what would it be? I said, we have to agree as a family what worst case. I go, we won't be homeless. We live in a socialist country, so the government's never going to let us be homeless, right? So we'll never be homeless. We got friends and we got family. So the worst that can happen is bankruptcy. I said, frankly, I don't give a toss about bankruptcy because all it does is set you back to zero. I said, so that's all it really does. I said, so I'm willing to risk bankruptcy and failure to make this work. He said, are you in for it? My wife said, well, I believe in you. I said, fine, we're going to live off of our meager savings and credit cards. That was it. And I racked up £45,000 worth of debt. That's about 60,000 US dollars. I was living in a rented apartment. I had a wife. I had a child that was in 2015, would have been 2 years old. And so between like 2015 and 2018, we were broke. I mean, absolutely skint, just clawing through, just barely making ends meet, but living on credit cards, some money coming in. And it was tough, really, really tough. And I wanted to quit so many times. But every time I wanted to quit, I asked myself one question. If you are competent at what you want to master, will it work? And the answer was always yes. Then the second question was, well, what are you going to do? You're going to let it beat you, or are you going to admit defeat? Damn it. I don't want to admit defeat. Then you have to keep pushing through until you get it. And so I did. And then it started to snowball around 2018. Business picked up. 2019, that first video of me went out sitting on a couch making a prospect. I've been talking about prospecting calls for years, and a lot of people said I was an idiot. They said that the opener I used wouldn't work. So then I put up a video of me making a live call, and it just changed everything. Suddenly, all the people that said I was an idiot suddenly were eating their words.
The live calls is where I really fell in love with you, because it's like, to me, it was like, if another person can do it, I can do it.
And so from there, it just sort of snowballed. And I was getting invited in to do training with companies and whatnot. So it went well. And then, of course, COVID came along, and then that fundamentally changed because overnight, again, I went right back to zero because everything I did was in person, in house. So again, that was scary, but I pivoted very quickly. The rule of business is you adapt or die. Yeah, and you can sit on your hands and hope for lockdown to end and then pick things up. And I thought, no, I'm going to take a risk. I thought, let's see if people will let me train them online. Never done it before. And I said this, my biggest fear was, what if I advertise these training courses online and nobody buys? I'm supposed to be a sales trainer. And if I can't fill a course, I'm going to look like a complete idiot. And then this other voice, the voice I always listen to, the one that doesn't give a toss, and who gives a rat's ass what people on LinkedIn think? You don't know them. They're not your friends. They're not your family. Who cares? Do it. So I did it. And within 24 hours, the first boot camp sold out. I was quite surprised. Anyway, we fast forward the 3 years we had COVID. I did 70 of these boot camps online. Over 1,000 people had gone through. I took over £1 million in income during that period. And this was all without leaving my house. And so it had fundamentally changed my business. COVID's ended. I started doing in-house. But now most of my work is online because I've realized the world is my oyster. The world suddenly, I went from the UK's most hated to suddenly training people in Israel and Pakistan and India and Australia, New Zealand and Canada. It's just been an amazing journey, and it's been a lot of fun. A lot of hard work, but a lot of fun.
This has been Jeff Stearns, Connected Through Cars.